Fountas and Pinnell Benchmark Assessment System, Fluency, presented by Leah, Bryant. What is the Fountas and Pinnell Benchmark Assessment System? The Fountas and Pinnell Benchmark Assessment System consists of a series of carefully designed benchmark books that measures the level of difficulty at which a student is able to read fiction and nonfiction text. The assessment can be used for grades kindergarten through 8th grade. Importance of this assessment. Determine the student's independent and instructional reading levels. Determine reading placement levels and group students for reading instruction. Select texts that will be productive for students' instruction. Assess outcomes of teaching and assess new students' reading level for independent reading and instruction. Identify students who need intervention. Document student progress across school year and grade levels, and inform parents at parent conferences. The Fountas and Pinnell Fluency Assessment focuses on 5 main areas: rate, which is the pace at which the reader moves through the text, and an appropriate rate moves along rapidly with few slowdowns, stops, or long pauses to solve words. If a reader only has a few short pauses for word solving and picks up the pace again, look at the overall rate. Phrasing. Phrasing refers to the way readers put words together in groups to represent the meaningful units of language. Intonation. Intonation refers to the way the reader varies the voice in tone, pitch, and volume to reflect the meaning of the text, sometimes called expression. Pausing. Pausing refers to the way the reader is guided by punctuation, which includes short breaths at commas, full stops at ending punctuation or dashes, and pausing also refers to how the reader uses the way print is organized on the page, like the line layouts, paragraphs, and etc. And stress. Stress refers to the emphasis readers place on particular words with like a louder tone to reflect the meaning as speakers would do in oral language. And the 6th component is integration, which is an overall score based on rate, phrasing, pausing, intonation, and stress. How to administer the fluency assessment. First, find a readable text for the student, one that he or she can read with over 95% accuracy. Then decide whether to use the first reading or the second reading. Provide a brief standardized introduction to the text. Ask the student to read a significant portion of the text aloud, or you may have the student read the text once in full and then read it aloud for the second time. Next, follow along as the student reads, using your own copy to mark errors. Check the reading for accuracy, noting whether it is above 90%. Use the rubric, which I'll show you on the next slide, to rate reading along the first 5 dimensions, which included rate, phrasing, intonation, pausing, and stress. Make overall assessment of the student's fluency, which is the dimension 6 of integration. Next, repeat the assessment for a group of students. Analyze reading fluency to determine what student is doing and what the student is not doing, and plan small and large group instruction to address areas of need. Okay, here's the scale for assessing the fluency that I've just talked to you about. As you can see, each is rated with a number 1, 2, 3, or 4. 1 being almost no evidence of appropriate rate or phrasing or intonation. 2, very little evidence. 3, some evidence. And 4, almost all evidences are appropriate. Here's a continuation of the fluency scale that includes the pausing and stress as well. And then here's a 6th dimension that was mentioned that gives an overall score of how the 5 dimensions were integrated. The fluency scale. Other important considerations would be sure that the child is assessed by the same person, since the scale can be subjective. Retain previous scales to compare ratings, and ideally with proper instruction over time, student scale scores should increase. So what do you do after fluency is determined? Along with reading at an independent reading level, allow the students to read text at their instructional level. These texts should be a little more challenging. Provide an introduction that makes the new text accessible to the student. Include discussion about vocabulary as well as about the meaning of the text. Research has indicated that this helps both with vocabulary learning and reading comprehension.